Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports College Football Show. We're back week 4 to talk everything college football coming this week. We have a good slate of games coming up. Last week, I went 2-2 again. I think I am now 7-5 on my best bets for the first 3 weeks. Uncle T didn't hit his total, but he hit his underdog outright winner for the second straight week. So we got 2 outright winners on the books in 3 weeks on the double-digit dog. We have 2 of the 3 wins. You're 2-1 on your total as well. And then our parlay, we hit last 2 weeks ago. And this week was a brutal beat. Came down to the last leg. We hit the first 2. We were covering the whole game and scored twice in the fourth quarter and went for 2 both times and did not convert. Texas State did. G.J. Kinney really hurt us there going for 2 to make it a 17-point game instead of just kicking the extra point there late. Cost us winning another parlay back-to-back weeks. Would have been a really, really hot start if they just kicked the extra point. So that was a bad beat.
I knew he was going to go for 2. That's just that's just their style. It is what it is. But it would have been nice for them to get in there for 2, but couldn't do it. Hopefully we hit our parlay this week. That would be good. But not a pretty good start to the season so far. So
pretty good start to the season. We're 9-6 best bets, plus we're 2-1 on the dog with 2 outright wins, and we're plus money in the parlay through 3 weeks. So we are up on all 3 of our sides: best bets, total of dog of the week, and parlay.
And it's pretty funny in the say. I guess we just have high standards because I think both of us aren't happy with 9-6. I think we should not to say that we're not happy. It's still good, but it's like typically with your best bets. I know last year you were like really, really good, even way higher percentage than that. And I think I did fairly well last year in the underdog.
Oh yeah, you won the total of the week like the 6 or 7 first times, and we didn't start it till middle of the year. I think you finished 6-2 in the total of the week.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I hit the first 5 or something like that we did.
Yeah.
And then also I'd like to just start the show out by saying, Jeremiah is a coward for not joining us tonight, and he said he was going to join us. So hopefully we can get him in studio. He says he wants to confront Big Dog and you live on the air. He says he wants to do it live in studio. And I said, I don't know if we can do that live, dude. That sounds like a really bad idea, but we'll see. And obviously he still wants to come on when Michelle comes on. Hopefully we have Michelle on soon, but he thinks he can debate her. And I said, dude, you don't know football like Michelle, clearly.
No, nobody knows.
She's the only person that picked Michigan to beat Ohio State. Those are just the facts.
She said, not so fast, my friend. We were all in Ohio State. Hopefully she said she wasn't going to be able to come on last week and this week, but I'm going to message her to see if we can get her on for week 5. So hopefully we can. I got my boy Archie over here going absolutely bonkers.
Hopefully, puppy, sir.
Yeah, new puppy. It's like he's literally sprinting around the house right now. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't pick up on the audio. Let's jump into this. By the way, crazy week in our pick'em. So I won the first week by 1. You won the second week by 1. This week I was going through, and the beginning of the picks, I was like, fuck, I might lose this week by 5 or 6 picks. And then I came back at the end. So you were ahead of me by 4 picks to start. And then luckily you took Incarnate Word. I gained a pick back there. You took Old Dominion, gained a pick back, and then you lost the last 4. I went A&M, Vandy, Utah State, and Arizona State. Luckily, I got lucky this week because you took two 17.5+ point underdogs trying to get the triple point. So
but I should get bonus points for Old Dominion.
No, it was 5.5. It was 6.5 when we gave it. It was 6.5. Well, then I get bonus points for A&M. So it's the same thing. A&M was 6.5. I didn't get bonus points, so it evens out. But I thought I was gonna get killed, and luckily I was lucky.
You're welcome for the charity of picking Texas State.
I don't know why you did. I think you'd had a couple beers. That was my birthday, and I think you were like, why not? I'll take a triple point. But you did 2 in the same week. That really helped me out. I would have lost by at least 2 picks this week. Anyway, we're all tied.
So we're all tied now, or
we're all square through week. I won week 1. You won week 2. We chopped week 3, and now we are on to week 4. And let's start week 4.
We're lucky. I just got to say, we're lucky Big Dog's not playing because obviously he would be dominating this competition.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. Just like he did last year where he came in dead last.
Shout out the smartest guy I know. Have him on soon.
I'll let you pick this one first. We're going to go to a Friday night game. There's not a good Thursday night game. There's one. It's Rice and Charlotte. We're going to go to Friday night, 7 p.m. kick on Fox, Iowa, traveling to Piscataway. And you know what they say, it's hard to win in Piscataway. Let me tell you, you don't just go into Piscataway and come back unscathed. You know who I'm taking. I'll let you pick first because you already know what's coming. Iowa's a 2.5-point favorite.
Iowa's favored in Piscataway?
Yep, they are.
That's pretty disrespectful.
The disrespect.
I need to see what Rutgers has done so far this year.
Rutgers, they probably should have lost week 1 to Ohio. They snuck out a 3-point victory. Then they beat the shit out of Miami, Ohio at home and Norfolk State at home. But this is in Piscataway. It's a night game. It's a Friday night game. There's going to be fans there. We know what happens in Piscataway. Magic.
Thanks, John Madden, for letting us know there's going to be fans there. I
said there's going to be lots of fans there on a Friday night.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to take Rutgers to piss you off, and you're not going to get
fucker. That's such bullshit.
I don't want Iowa.
Okay, you just know what I've been saying for years. It's hard to win in Piscataway. Let me tell you. All right, let's go on to Saturday, and we'll start with some 11 a.m. kicks. We'll go first to your Red Raiders, Texas Tech, 3-0. Coming in, taking on Utah, who is also 3-0. Texas Tech, number 17 in the country. Utah, number 16. Utah's a 3.5-point favorite. You mentioned interesting spot here. This game being played at 11 a.m. Normally, this would be a night game, Big 12 after dark. But this is a different spot here for Tech traveling to Utah if it compared to if it was at night. Who you like?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen Utah ever play a home game at 11 o'clock. Ever. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen. They played the 2 or 3 o'clock slot, but never the 11 a.m. game that I know of. I'll take the Red Raiders just out of respect. I think it's going to be a close game regardless. I'm really not sold on Utah's offense. It seems like I think they're going to turn the ball over a decent amount against Tech. And we'll see if Morton can protect the ball for Tech because he made some bonehead plays against Oregon State last week as well. But anyway, I'll take the Red Raiders. I'll let you have Utah.
Yeah, I'll take Utah here. They looked really good defensively the first 3 games, and this is a home game, even though it's an early kick. And I don't know. Morton throws for a ton of yards, but he's not the most efficient. I mean, it's big play after big play, and I just don't know you're going to get that against Utah's defense. Right. So give me the Utes to stay perfect here. They had a horrible year last year. I think they have a good chance to win the Big 12 from what I've seen so far from everybody. Moving on, we have Arkansas coming off a loss to Ole Miss, a game they were squarely in all the way to the last few minutes. They're laying 7.5, traveling to Memphis, Tennessee to take on the Tigers.
Before you pick it, I'm taking Memphis. I'm going for the double points. Give me 2. 2 points.
All right. I was gonna do that, but I'll just take Arkansas for that. I'll take the opposite side. This is a tough spot for Arkansas. That was a brutal game last week and tough loss. Now you got to go travel to Memphis. Give me Arkansas. I don't like that you're getting double points here. I think this line should be more like 4.5. All right. Let's see. Maryland traveling to Wisconsin. Wisconsin laying just under 10.
Man, I don't think Wisconsin's very good. And you can pick up double points with Maryland. I think Maryland sucks too, though. Man, give me Maryland. I'll try to go after the double points.
Wow, you're going to go both there. All right.
I would be shocked if both those teams lost, honestly. I just don't. I think that Maryland-Wisconsin game's a toss-up too. I can't believe 9 points.
Don't like Wisconsin. I don't know. I'm gonna be square here and take Wisconsin. I'll take Wisconsin here. All right. We're not going to pick Syracuse, Clemson, unless you actually think Syracuse could beat them, because Clemson might fully implode. Last week you said that was going to happen to Virginia Tech against Old Dominion, and it sure did. They lost 38-7. Now they were only a 6-point dog. Syracuse, Clemson. You want to pick this or no?
Well, I'll take Clemson if you want to help our record
out. We'll just take Clemson each. All right, moving on. Here we go. SMU at TCU. TCU laying 6.5. The total on this game, 64.5. Going to be projecting a shootout here. SMU with just a brutal loss to Baylor. They controlled the whole game, led by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter a couple weeks back and lost in overtime. They did bounce back last week with a win over Missouri State, but it was ugly, 28-10.
This is the Uncle T dog of the week here. I'm taking SMU, the short drive to the short drive to Fort Worth. I just don't think we really know much about TCU at this point. Sure, they beat the wheels off a bad North Carolina team. I'm just not sold. I mean, listen, Baylor won the game and against SMU in a game that, not to say SMU should have for sure won. It could have gone either way. Baylor outgained them without question in that game. I just think that this is an absolute coin toss game here. Maybe TCU should be favored by 3. I think 6.5 is too many. I'm a retired gambler, as you know. If I was betting this, I would buy the hook and just get it to 7. I don't think they're going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose by more than a touchdown. But we'll try them with the 6.5 here, and then the money line at 2-1. I think SMU's got a 50-50 shot of winning this one.
That's he's on a 2-game win streak here, going for 3 straight, taking the SMU, the Pony Express, SMU outright, plus 200 to take down TCU. I kind of want to piss you off and take SMU here just because you did that to me with my Piscataway Warriors. So I'm going to do that. Give me SMU to win this outright. I hate TCU. I don't like Sonny Dykes. Give me SMU. I'm gonna ride with you on the double-digit dog. All right. Scrolling down here. Let's go to another Texas team, North Texas, traveling to Army. This is always a tight game. North Texas, perfect 3-0. Absolutely spanked Washington State this week. They are a 2.5-point favorite at Army, who's coming off a bye week, but before that, they upset Kansas State after losing week 1 to Tarleton State.
I'm going to take the mean green. I like what Eric Morris is doing and didn't. I think this team's on the up and up. It's going to be a tough game. Anytime you go in there and play an option team, especially with Army losing their last game at home to Tarleton State, I think it's a tough spot for Eric Morris and them. But I think they're going to go in there and win. I'll say North Texas in overtime again. Another Army overtime loss.
I will say last year, North Texas, I remember being on North Texas. I believe I gave them out as a best bet against Army. They were like plus 6.5 and dominated the game and found a way to lose it late because of a couple turnovers in the red zone. They do tend to struggle with the option. These teams who aren't used to playing the option in smaller conferences, it's hard to stop it. But Army looks like a different team this year. Give me North Texas. I think it's a tight game, but I like North Texas to win it. Moving along here. Obviously, we're not picking Oregon State. Oregon State might be the worst team in football, but we will look at a 2:30 kickoff between number 22 Auburn and number 11 Oklahoma. SEC showdown in Norman, and 2 undefeated teams. It's the like you deemed it earlier, the Jackson Arnold revenge game. Former Oklahoma starting quarterback, now starting for Auburn, and now the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, John Mateer, is kind of in the Heisman race. If you look at some odds right now, he's kind of launched his name in there with Oklahoma having a hot start. Any shot Auburn pulls the upset here?
I think there's certainly a shot. I think Auburn's a pretty good team. I think you see Jackson Arnold play well returning to Norman. I think he's going to play well. I think this Oklahoma defense is just the difference. Venables has them playing very well. I think I'm going to say Oklahoma wins this game by a touchdown, but I think it's going to be fairly tight through most of the game. And for like the second week in a row, I've said on this show, I believe, I am taking Oklahoma to beat Texas.
Yeah, we know. Now that's becoming less and less bold the more you watch this Texas offense.
Well, remember I said that 2 weeks ago. That's what I mean.
No, I know you did. I'm just saying by the time we get there.
Big Dog said, let the record state that he was like, he was during the Giants Cowboys game. It was hilarious to listen to him too, and the Giants still found a way to lose that game. But we got to go back and check the tape to see if he said 7 or 8 wins for the Giants. No, maybe 9.
You even said he said 8 or 9. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That team would be lucky to win 4 games, although they should have beat Dallas this week. Yeah. Will you give me double points if I go Auburn here?
No.
Okay, then I'm going Oklahoma. I would have taken, if you give me double points, I'll go Auburn.
Okay, I'll give you double points.
All right, there we go. All right, give me Auburn. I get double points on the record. Give me Auburn, outright win over Oklahoma. Fuck the Sooners. They go down this week in Norman, and all their dreams come crashing down. Interesting one here. Tulane at Ole Miss. This is a 14-point spread as Ole Miss is favored here. in Oxford. But this rivalry, you almost want to call it, has been close over the last couple of years. Who do you like?
Do I get triple if I take Tulane?
Yeah.
What the hell? Give me Tulane in the Bayou Jew.
Well,
Ole Miss can't stop anybody. I think Ole Miss ultimately wins a tight game. I think 14 points is far too many.
It's far too many. I'm going to come back to this one later, but I'm going to take for the Pick'em show. I'll take Ole Miss. It'll be interesting to see who starts at quarterback for Ole Miss because Austin Simmons, the regular starter, got hurt against Arkansas, and the backup quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, came in. I believe he played in a game last year when Jackson Dart was hurt for a drive or two and looked good. I was surprised he was not named the starter, but he looked really good in relief. So I'm interested to see who starts if Simmons is healthy. But I think Ole Miss wins. I do not think they cover. I think it's very tight. I'm pulling for Tulane in this one. All right, moving along here. Scrolling down, let's go to Michigan. Number 21, Michigan, 2-1. Obviously lost to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago. They're traveling to Lincoln to take on Nebraska. I'm gonna take a small upset here. It's 2.5. I'm gonna take the Cornhuskers to pull the upset and get to 4-0 for the first time in a long. Were they 4-0 last year before they imploded? I can't remember. I feel like they lost.
Maybe. I think they're at least 3-0. I can't remember if they're 4-0.
They were. They lost. This was the game. I remember. That's right. This is the game last year. They played Illinois this same week, and it was like on a Thursday night, and they were ahead late and blew it and lost in overtime. So they have not been 4-0 in a while, and I think they do get it here. Give me Nebraska to win outright.
Yeah, I think Nebraska wins the game. I think this is just a full-blown let Bryce Underwood grow up a little bit year, but it doesn't even seem like I said last week, Portnoy was talking about it, like when they went in to play Oklahoma, it was like we went in there for a scrimmage and it was like we were not playing to win. He goes, that game might as well have been Oklahoma 100, Michigan 0. They were never going to win the game. I think obviously they'll open things up a little. It's the Pac or whatever the hell it is, the Big 10, the Big 38, whatever teams are in the fucking conference. But no, I think you'll see Nebraska win this game. I think Michigan's going to be really bad this year.
Yeah, I think they are too. I think they're going to be similar to what they were last year.
Right.
Let's move on to next one. One of your favorite teams, Bill Belichick, your boy, in North Carolina, traveling to take on Scott Frost, who's back at UCF. UCF almost lost outright week 1 to Jacksonville State, but they bounced back with a big win over North Carolina A&T. Now they have North Carolina at home. This UCF is favored by 6.5 here.
That just shows you what people think of North Carolina and how bad they are. I'll take UCF. You can have double points if you want North Carolina.
No, thank you. I will not take North Carolina. I will take UCF. There's no shot I'm touching Bill Belichick at the college level. Here we go. Let's see.
We do know who is touching Bill Belichick, and that's his 26-year-old girlfriend.
As far as we know, yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna scroll down here. Oh, here we go. Duke at home against NC State. Duke's a 3-point favorite.
Duke's gonna beat them by 17.
Yeah, I think this isn't close. If you're looking deceiving that NC State is 3-0 and Duke is 1-2, Duke's looked much better than NC State. I like Duke here to win comfortably. Kansas at home against West Virginia. West Virginia pulled off a big upset against their rival at Pittsburgh, or at home against Pittsburgh last week, but now they have to travel on the road. I'm taking the Jayhawks here. Don't think it's particularly close. I think that could be a blowout here, a letdown spot for West Virginia.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Kansas, wins in the 14 to 20-point range, something like that. I think they handle business. Yeah. I think West Virginia's been partying all week. After beating their bitter rival. So I think this is just a big letdown spot, especially after, like you said, Kansas blew that game to Missouri. So
yeah, Kansas was the better team for 3.5 quarters.
Right.
Led 21-6. All right. 6:00 kick. This would have been a really big game. We kind of anticipated this being a ranked on ranked matchup. South Carolina, who was very highly ranked I believe they were number 11 in the country. They dropped all the way out of the top 25 after getting just annihilated by my Vanderbilt Commodores, who I picked outright for the second straight week. Missouri, on the other hand, probably should have lost to Kansas, as you just mentioned. Their quarterback, Bo Pribula, has looked good, the transfer from Penn State. However, Lenora Sellers went down in the game against Vanderbilt. His status is unknown. The line here is 10.5, which indicates he's probably not going to play. I'm going to take Missouri regardless, although I will say I'm not going to make a contingency pick. But if he does play, wouldn't shock me if South Carolina won. He hadn't looked that good in the games that he has played, but I don't think Missouri's all that great. I just think without him, they have no shot.
Look at you becoming more and more your father, trying to fit a contingency pick in there.
I said no contingency.
I'll take Missouri. They'll beat them.
Yeah, I think Missouri wins there pretty comfortably. Okay, here we go. Florida at Miami. Florida is a 7.5-point dog. And look, if we're being honest, and I was, again, kind of a rough beat when you look at the box score if you watch the game. Florida was catching 7 last week against LSU. LSU scored 1 offensive touchdown the entire game and, still found a way to win, not only win, but cover because DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 picks in one game. Now they have to go to Miami. Billy Napier's head is on the legitimate chopping block right now. He's about to get it guillotined off. If they get blown out here, he is gone. I don't think they get blown out here. In fact, I'm going to take Florida here. I get double points because it's 7.5. Give me the Gators to pull the upset. Miami is overrated. I think it's an ugly, low-scoring game. If Lagway takes care of the ball, this comes down to the last quarter. Not to mention, they just went into, that defense did, one of the toughest places to play in the country at night. What are they like? 18-1 at night the last, or 19-1 at home at night the last 20 games. This is a completely different environment. Fans will not be in attendance. It'll be half the stadium empty, and it's not a tough place to play. I think Florida pulls a big upset here.
It's funny you did that because I was definitely thinking about taking Florida for entertainment purposes. I'll go Miami. I actually do think Miami's a pretty good football team. Their offensive line, defensive line look pretty damn good, and that freshman receiver they have is good. I don't know how Carson Beck holds up throughout the year, but this is just the classic game that Billy Napier wins, and he keeps his job, and people are in Billy Napier hell in Gainesville for another year. If he wins a couple more of these games, I mean, that's what Florida did last year. I mean, their defense is much better this year, but they found a way to win a few big games towards the end. I'm with you. I think this is a 60-40 game. I think Miami probably wins, but Florida's going to be right there. I think it's going to be very close. I'll take Miami. I'll let you go for the double points here. See how you do.
Yeah, look, if Lagway goes out there and it was clear they got into LSU territory multiple times in the second half, and then he just had absolutely no confidence. Like, he couldn't even throw the ball away. So if he comes out with that mindset here and they leave him in the game, which I don't think Napier ever pulls him because that's kind of why he kept his job, it could get ugly. But right. I just think if he has any sort of poise here in this spot in a not as tough environment, then they can win this game outright. All right. Number 9, Illinois at number 19, Indiana. Number 19 is a 5.5-point favorite at home.
I'm going to take Indiana in a super close game. Think it could go either way, but for pick-em purposes, I'll take Indiana at home.
That's probably the smart pick. I'll take Illinois just to be on the other side. I think it could go either way. If I was betting this, I'll definitely take Illinois plus 5.5. I just don't know what Indiana is. They play nobody early in the year. Last year, though, the same thing. It was this exact spot. They played Nebraska in a week like this, and they were a short favorite, and they beat the living shit out of Nebraska. So, give me Illinois. Could go either way. Moving on here, scrolling down, we have Arizona State. They dropped out of the top 25 as well after being preseason top 15 after that loss at Mississippi State a couple weeks back. They're a short underdog here at Baylor, who is now 2-1. Probably saved Dave Aranda's job beating SMU in overtime a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I hate to give Baylor any kind of credit because of our good friend KM1, but he, Sawyer Robertson's playing pretty good football, without a doubt. That Baylor's in these shootouts, but I do think that Baylor's a solid football team. I think they could be an 8-win football team. I do think that they're better than Arizona State this year, and they're at home. I think I think Baylor wins this, but like by a field goal. I think this is going to come down to the wire, and Baylor finds a way to win it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go Arizona State here. I know Sawyer Robertson's looked good. I think Arizona State's probably the best defense Baylor has seen. He did throw all over the yard against Auburn. We haven't seen Auburn play anybody else yet. I don't know. I don't think SMU's defense is very good. And Baylor's defense is horrific. I think Arizona State has success with Sam Leavitt with his legs. The total here indicates a shootout at 60.5. So high-scoring game, more than likely. I'm going to take Arizona State. I think they have a little more experience, a little more poise, and I think Kenny Dillingham is a significantly better coach than Dave Aranda in a matchup that's kind of a coin toss here. All right, we've got BYU at East Carolina. BYU 6.5.
I'll take BYU. Close game, BYU.
Yeah, I'll take BYU as well. See if there's anything else we want to take here. Oh, well, do you want to go? Oh, we go UTSA at Colorado State. UTSA is 4.5. I'll take UTSA.
Yeah, I'll take the runner.
You want to pick Colorado, Wyoming, or are you too afraid to take your Cowboys? I'm giving you
I'm not giving you a free point.
I'm trying to
I do love
that out for you.
I do love the Cowboys.
All right, Colorado for both of us. Here, USC and Michigan State. We're both taking USC, but they're both 3-0, and yet USC's favored by 17.5 here. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure Michigan State has played nothing but the deaf and blind school. There's no way they've played anybody. It's a bad team.
Here we go. Last one. It's a late night Rainbow Warrior special. They're a 2.5-point dog at home against Fresno State, who's won 3 straight.
I love my Rainbow Warriors, but I think Fresno State wins this game.
I was hoping you'd take Hawaii. I'm going to take Fresno State.
I know, that's why you teed it up. You were hoping I would go with Rainbow Warriors. I do love me some Rainbow Warriors, but
I do have their win total this season over 4.5, and they're already at 3. So I have Hawaii, that is. So if they do get this game, that would be big for that win total. I need one more the rest of the way through. And by the way, thank you to Notre Dame, the quickest win total cash in the history of college football. Under 10.5 wins cashed in week 2. 90% of the bets were on the over.
Which is crazy to me.
It's crazy.
How do you have 90% of the bets on over 10.5 with a freshman quarterback playing?
And they lost their
no idea.
Yep. And
they start the fucking season with Miami, and then 2 weeks later play A&M. That's just bizarre to me. That was 10.5. Yeah. 9.5, I could see why maybe 90% would be over, but 10.5 is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I mean, they still have to go to Arkansas. They have USC at home. They go to Pittsburgh, although that's not a great team. To Boston College isn't easy. I mean, they don't have like a tough schedule, but if they were to split those two, which is what I assume would happen, I figured they'd find a way to lose at least one more the rest of the way. Happy that they lost the first two is a much easier cash win total. Okay. Give me your total of the week.
My total of the week is the Bayou Jew and Tulane going to Ole Miss. I think it's going to be a track meet. I don't think anybody stops anybody. I think you'll see 70 points. The total 61. If you look at the scores, those teams, or if you've watched either of them play, I mean, I watched Ole Miss, Arkansas. I think there's going to be a lot of points, and both those teams try to go as fast as humanly possible. So you also have that going for you. So over 61 there. You already got my underdog of the week, SMU and SMU Moneyline. What are your best bets of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to start with my first pick. I'm going to go back to the well with the Bayou Jew. Tulane catching 14 at Ole Miss, a full 2 touchdowns. I was on Tulane last week, got the W. They were a 1.5-point favorite against Duke, won pretty comfortably. Look, this Tulane team tends to play Ole Miss pretty close, at least in the last couple years. I like John Summerall, came over from Troy, has done a good job. And I watched Ole Miss last week against Arkansas, let Talon Green, the quarterback, run all over them. Well, Jake Retzlaff against Duke last week, 16 carries for 111 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. So I think they're going to struggle to contain Retzlaff. He still threw for nearly 300 yards. I think the offense is good enough. Worst case scenario, they're down 17-21. You can backdoor cover, backdoor push late. I have a hard time believing with what I watched from Ole Miss's defense the last couple of weeks that they covered this big of a number. So we're catching 14. We're going to take Tulane plus the 14 with pick number 1. Hopefully they get it done for us for back-to-back weeks. Number 2, I'm going to go to Duke, the team who I faded last week. I'm going to jump on them this week. Now, their starting quarterback, Darian Mensah, was the quarterback at Tulane last year, transferred to Duke, and he's been pretty solid. He's a dual threat kid, but the records are deceiving here. Duke's laying 3. Duke is 1-2. NC State is 3-0, but NC State easily could have lost all 3 games they played. They won by 7 each of the first 3 weeks, including week 1 to East Carolina. Very close game. Last week, they trailed to Wake Forest, who is god-awful, 14-0. Came back to win it by 7. Hung on late. So I'm going to go with Duke minus the 3. I think Mensah and company do enough on offense. I think Duke's defense is good enough to slow down an NC State offense that's not high-powered by any means. My third pick, I'm going to go with Oregon in the first half, laying 20.5 against Oregon State. Oregon should have covered the number against Northwestern last week. It was actually on SVP's bad beats. They closed a 24.5-point favorite. They led 34-0 with 8 minutes to go in the game and just put in third-string guys and got backdoored by Northwestern. Otherwise, Oregon is 3-0 against the spread. They laid almost 28 against Oklahoma State a couple weeks ago, won by 40. Oregon State might be the worst team that is. I know they're not technically a Power 4 team, but they have been over the last 30 years. They are horrific. Unfortunately, we had to witness them last week against Texas Tech with our total and had multiple chances to get in the end zone, would have put us over. And their quarterback, who is kid from Texas.
Isn't it Malik Murphy?
Malik Murphy, thank you. I can picture him, and now I know
he is awful. Yeah,
he's horrific. And I would be surprised if they put up a single point in the first half at Oregon. I know it's a rivalry game. Oregon's going to have a big game offensively here. I think they're up 28-0, 31-0, 35-0 at halftime. I don't want to deal with the back door like I watched from Northwestern last week, so I'm going to take them in the first half, but I think they absolutely cruise here early against Oregon State. I think they dominate this game. And then my total of the week, I'm going to go to a weird one here. Going to go to Air Force and Boise State over 51.5. Air Force gave up 49 points to Utah State last week. They're averaging in their first 2 games combined. Their total score has been close to 70. I think this is a shootout. Boise State gave up 34 to South Florida week 1, and South Florida, as good as they've been, has not been good offensively. It's been their defense, and they absolutely ran it all over Boise State. I think Air Force has success against Boise State's defense. I think Boise State moves the ball against Air Force because anybody can move the ball against Air Force. I think this total is way too low, 51.5. I see this in the 60s. Give me the over in that one. And then we'll go last one, our parlay of the week that we should be 2-1 on, but we hit one of them so far. This one will be a legit 6-1. We're going to start with Illinois plus the 5.5 at Indiana. We talked a little bit about it in the pick'em. Both of us like Illinois to win or to cover this number here. I think we both think this is probably more of a coin toss game, right? And we're catching 5.5. So we're going to back Illinois, maybe a little bit the better team, but they're on the road. I think this number is off. Probably should be closer to 2.5 or 1. 1.5 or 1. Then we're going to go one you like that I like as well. Florida and Miami under 51.5. What was the stat you gave earlier about Florida's defense?
Yeah, I think it's something like Florida's only given up 2 offensive touchdowns all season, and they're 1-2. So yeah, defense is playing good ball, and I think Miami's defense is decent, and I just expect a low-scoring, fairly ugly game in this one.
Yep, I agree.
Speaking of ugly games, their last one is another under Michigan and Nebraska. So I think that's going to be – it's under what? What is the number, 46?
46.5 is a number.
Yeah, so 2 unders, which are always scary in college football, but I think those are going to be 2 fairly defensive, ugly games. And then I do like Illinois to keep that game close. We both do. So we'll see if we have better luck this week and actually win our parlay of the week. Our Voodoo Ranger parlay of the week.
Thank you. Got a graphic up there. Brought to you by Voodoo Ranger officially, because they're an official sponsor until they send us a cease and desist letter. All right, so you got it. To wrap it up, quickly, we got all of our picks in. Uncle T's Underdog of the Week, SMU on the money line, plus 200 to take down TCU. He's got his total of the week on, tell me again, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
over
right.
61.
Tulane Ole Miss over 61. My total of the week is Air Force and Boise over 51.5. My three best bets, Tulane plus the 14 at Ole Miss, Duke minus the 3 versus NC State, and Oregon minus the 20.5 in the first half against Oregon State. And our parlay of the week, brought to you by Voodoo Ranger, Illinois plus 5.5, Florida Miami under 51.5, and Michigan Nebraska under 46.5. We'll try to keep bringing you winners next week when we come back for week 5. We'll also have our full weekly show next week. We're going to start doing it on Wednesdays, so we'll give an update on that, where we'll preview kind of some of the NFL stuff for the week as well. So look out for all that good content. Make sure if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys next week.